Welcome to 2 Cents Worth, everybody. This is a show about sports, fitness, and life. Today's episode, we're going to focus more so on life. Being a husband, Mother's Day, parent, the things that come along with home ownership, and planning for guys trips, and amongst other things that might come up in conversation. So sit back and enjoy, probably in your car. Maybe at home, maybe at the gym, wherever you might be listening to the show. Enjoy. Welcome, everybody. I am your host, Ryan DeFaber. Welcome to 2 Cents Worth. Today is Mother's Day, and I realize that it's not out until Monday, and Mother's Day, as I'm speaking to you, is today, but yesterday is how this will all work. Because of when it's coming out, because I've been busy, and I'm going to talk about everything I've done over this past weekend and week, and what we have going on in our household, and being a father and husband, and what we do on the weekends, and Mother's Day as well, and making sure that we talk about that and why that's special and important for all of us. So with sports going on, a lot of sports really right now, I just hadn't been really paying too much attention to it. So this is where I really want to focus in on the life aspect of the podcast and what's going on in my life and my family's life, and what we're experiencing and what you all might be experiencing and working with and working through. And here comes the dog, and it's a great segue into life. So the dog, somehow, some way, and if you've heard the podcast before, I've talked about Bronx, and God, lay down. And he's 12, and he's got basically a failing pancreas, so he's on medication and low diet food, and for the past couple nights been waking me up again. And we caught him that he ate an entire bag of goldfish. And then talking to Nolan today, found out that Nolan, by accident, had let him eat popcorn for the last 2 days. So I have a sneaking suspicion that is what is not making the dog feel well. So he has been not eating. And when he does eat, he throws it right up, right away. And struggling a little bit, but he's getting some life in him. He's drinking. This is much better than it was a few months ago when I had to take him to the vet because he wouldn't drink for a couple days. He was very weak. He couldn't move. And this is all the joys of having a pet. And for many of you that have pets know, what that's like. And for Lindsay and I, we got Bronx before we were even married. We were living together out of college. We got the dog before we were married and before we had kids and everything. So he's been with us through this whole journey. And as much as a pain in the ass this dog is, and if you know Bronx, you can attest to this. If you don't, he is by far one of the worst behaved dogs in the world. But at the same time, very protective of his family, and that's why he barks all the time, where we have to put bark collars on him. And he still refuses to learn how to be potty trained, and he's 12 years old. And we've had a trainer come a few years ago, and she even said it's going to be very hard to break that because of how old he is. So it's wonderful, just wonderful. Thankfully, we have wood floors in our house, so it's easy cleanup when he decides to be an asshole. Very spiteful dog, separation anxiety, always wants to be near me, which is fine. I don't mind it, but he can be very frustrating. But regardless of all of that, regardless of what type of animal you might not have animals. But if you do, regardless of all the flaws that they have, you never want to see them be sick or get sick. And right now he's sick, and I just want to make sure he's going to be all right. And I have a feeling I'm going to be up most of the night with him again. Last couple nights hadn't been bad, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I get up at 4:30 anyways to go to the gym, so to me it's not horrible, but waking up, if it's going to be like it was a couple months ago, he'll be up basically every hour, so I won't be sleeping much tonight. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Man, I got something in my throat. Hopefully, I will, and that this what he's been dealing with today will kind of pass. And he hasn't really eaten much for a while, so hopefully there's not much in his little body to go through. But we all wish our animals to be healthy and happy. And right now he's just catching up on some sleep, and I'm petting him and everything, and hoping that he's going to feel better. Which, timing wise kind of stinks. I go on my golf trip. The golf trip I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. I did an entire podcast about how to plan one. And so we have that coming up this week. It is finally here. I planned it in August and September of last year, and it is now finally arrived. The week has arrived. It is upon us, my friends. And the timing for the dog to get sick is not really ideal because, unfortunately, Lindsay might have to deal with it. But I'm hoping that by the time I leave the end of this week, he'll be back on the mend and, he'll be fine. But he's catching some Z's right now, and he seems lively. The last time this happened, he was not lively at all. Like I said, I could barely walk. I'd have to pick him up. It wasn't good. But he's lively right now, so we're hoping that we got ahead of it and that it was just something that the kids unfortunately threw on the ground, and he is a dog, so he is going to eat food that is always presented to him, which is wonderful. Which is also a shame because it's annoying because sometimes he gets in the trash and I'm like, dude, I didn't raise a trash dog. Why are you a trash dog? You're not a trash dog. You live in Ballantyne, bro. We don't have trash dogs. Very posh area of town. I'm just kidding. It is a nice area of town, though. So, anywho, got the trip coming up. Super excited about it. It's so close. Really looking forward to it. I told Lindsay after this weekend, I'll get into kind of what we did this weekend, but it's basically yesterday, right before I made dinner for Lindsay and the kids and my parents, I was just like, I was kind of out of it and tired, and I said, I just need a vacation. So I'm really looking forward to this and what we have going on coming up. And at the same time, this weekend is also the next major for golf. So we're talking about sports. I didn't think I was going to talk about sports, but let's dive into this. It's been golf heavy the last couple weeks because of the excitement I've had around my golf trip. But this week is the second major of the year, PGA Championship in Bethpage. My parents grew up and lived there for a while, or for a long time. I'm the only family member in my family that was born in Rhode Island. Everyone else was born in New York. They lived on Long Island right near Bethpage. My grandparents are buried near the cemetery near Bethpage. We still have a lot of family that lives up there. If you're listening, hello, family. And so it's good. It'll be fun and exciting to see how Bethpage sets up for the PGA Championship. The last time, I believe they hosted a major. It was the U.S. Open in 2002 when Tiger won. I think I'll have to go back and look, which I'm not going to do right now because I could care less about when they last hosted it. Great course, black course, very difficult, should be fun, but they were talking about the difference between the U.S. Open and the PGA Championship, and the PGA, the way that they'll set up the course compared to the USGA, different governing bodies. The PGA will want to see somewhere in like the -9 to 10, 11 range for the winner, where if this was the U.S. Open, they would set up the golf course much more difficult and wanted to see it maybe as like a -2 or 3 or even maybe a -1 for the winner. So that'll be fun. We'll be golfing during the day, and then we'll come home and be able to see some of the highlights of what's going on in the majors, in the major while we're on the golf trip. So it'll be very golf heavy. So we're going to treat our trip like a major. That's the idea there with the 12 guys that are a part of this entire group. So really looking forward to that. And, we just thankfully a little busy at work this week, so it will be go by quickly. Hopefully. Only 3 days of work this week, so hopefully it goes by quickly, and we will soon be there at the trip. And the sad thing is that how quickly they go by, and that's basically a lot of weekends, right? Most of your weekends go by very quickly. This last weekend, and I'm going to get into now what I did in life and whatnot, and I'll finish up with Mother's Day and why it's important and what we did and why I think it's a great thing that we celebrate mothers. So this weekend it was busy. Busy just regardless. It's busy regardless of what weekend it is because of the kids, right? So Nolan had t-ball, so we have that, and then after t-ball, the weather this weekend was Saturday afternoon. It got a little sketchy with just some storms and everything. Sunday, all the storms kind of held off, which was nice. But Saturday, did some landscaping in the back. Built a entire landscaping bed. It's probably 15 feet wide, 20 feet wide, maybe 8 feet deep. So cutting out all that grass and planting 12 plants and putting the mulch in, and then we put stone pavers down into the yard and we've lived in this house for 6 years, and we're finally getting around to doing certain things to make it more and more ours, and the landscaping is a lot of it, and finally getting to that in the backyard. The backyard's kind of wide open, which I like for the fact that the kids get to go out and play a lot and they don't have a confined space. We have a nice fence, a lot of green area to run around and whatnot. But it did need some depth from landscaping, and that's what we added this weekend. So woke up on Sunday and I was like, oh man, my back is killing me, because basically I was in a bent over position, huffing a shovel around and doing all that. Saturday, Sunday, we went to Lowe's to get the stone pavers, so then I had to put those in on Sunday. And so Sunday, which is today. I'm losing my mind. This morning, see, this is what I was telling you. I told Lindsay I'm tired and I need a vacation. I don't even know what day it is. So did that. Got the landscaping done. That was lunch, I guess. We are getting our kitchen cabinets painted tomorrow. And so the painters came last week, took the drawers and the doors to paint them in their shop. And so they're coming tomorrow, but on the two ends of our cabinets, Lindsay wanted beadboard and trim put up. So I did that right after I finished the landscaping. So again, bending over, making cuts, measuring, basically sitting on the floor, nailing this stuff in, getting it ready for the painter. That took about 2 hours in total, maybe. And then, so that was done. I put new filters in. We bought more filters for the house. It's that time of year, right? The pollen is still out in the air here in Charlotte, so need to always change the filters, just house things. So got the filters changed. Then also we had a flag holder when the previous owners lived here, and they had it on the front of our house is brick, and so they had it at the driveway next to the garage. And at the time, this bush that we had there, it was fine, and the flag was fine. But in the 6 years, the bush has grown, and I keep it trimmed and everything, but it's getting much taller. So the flag would always hit the top of the bush. So I took it out of the brick, and thankfully I have a drill bit that goes through brick and Tapcon screws. If you don't know what Tapcon screws are, they go into brick and concrete. And so move that to the middle of the garage, above the garage door, right on our brick face. So now we have the American flag in the middle of the garage door, waving, not hitting anything. So that will be nice. Perfect time, too, for Memorial Day in the next couple weeks to celebrate that. And so I did that to get that done. And then the final housekeeping thing that I had to do was the boys' light in their bathroom is this old, if you think of like a Hollywood vanity light, like the big round bulbs, it's 20 years old, original to the house, started to go. So replace that, and what should have been a 10-minute, and I told Lindsay this, I'm like, it's going to take me 20 minutes, like 10, 20 minutes. It's replacing a light. Thankfully, I know how to do a lot of this stuff. My dad was here today as well to help me, and so I'm like, Dad, let's knock this out. It'll take 10 minutes. What should have taken 10 minutes, I think ended up taking almost 45 minutes. I was ready to fucking kill somebody. The easiest thing, the thing that I put off all weekend because it was going to be the simplest thing for me to do, almost broke me. The bracket that they gave us compared to the box that was in the wall wasn't matching up the screws. So then I'm digging into my tool chest of what screws I might have to the size and everything else. Finally, we got it to work, and I was able to get the damn screws in, and the thing is up, and now it's bright, and the boys' bathroom is nice. Now, of course, what does that lead to? More work, because now there's 2 holes in the wall from the previous light that need to be filled, and then the paint as well, because the base isn't as big as the base in the light before. So once you do something, something else follows. But thankfully, that was all done. It's gotten taken care of. I finished all of that stuff, and now it's time to focus on Mother's Day. So all of this stuff was done this weekend, and it wasn't because of Mother's Day, but it was... Today especially was important for me to finish this stuff because I am leaving for a couple days to go on a trip, and I don't like leaving jobs half finished, so I wanted to finish them. Today obviously is a special day for my wife and my mom, as it's Mother's Day and we want to celebrate them, and my mother-in-law as well, and my sister and any other mothers that are out there, my sister-in-law, anybody else, right? And so I want to get all that done so she could relax and know that all of this was done and taken care of before I went on my trip, and things are done. We can check them off and feel accomplished, and especially getting the beadboard up for the painters that are coming tomorrow, because if that wasn't done, that was going to have to be done at a later date, and I'm still going to have to do it. And it was like, you know what, just suck it up, Buttercup, and do it. And I did it. I wasn't feeling it at first, and I started getting in the momentum of it, and it all took care of itself, and it looks great, and I'm excited for the painters to paint it tomorrow. So now we're on a Mother's Day. So for Mother's Day, on top of everything that I've done for the house the last 2 days, all Lindsay requested was, can you please wake up and make me pancakes? Okay, sure. No problem. So this morning I woke up, made bacon, pancakes, and eggs and fruit. I did not make fruit. Obviously, we had fruit. But I cooked bacon, eggs, and pancakes. And if you've ever tried Kodiak cakes, they're really good. They're good with protein, so they're healthy-ish for you. And they were peanut butter pancakes, and they were good, delicious. She had a great start to the day. We went to church this morning, which, for us, faith is important as well, and raising the boys in the church is important. My parents go there, and my in-laws go there as well, so it's a community for us from a family perspective. My sister came into town to celebrate the morning with my mom for Mother's Day and brought 2 of her 4 children, Katie and Emma. So we went to church, and then after church is when I did the landscaping stones, the beadboard, everything. And so late afternoon, my parents came over, and then Lindsay's request was, I want chicken parmesan. So cooked up chicken parmesan tonight for dinner. And so after all of that, I also cooked dinner for the family. And the boys crushed it, and it was really good, and I was very proud of myself and happy that I was able to make the meal that my wife wanted. And and then for her gift, we're practical people, buy things that we need or are going to use. So she's been going through She's a collegiate runner, ran her whole life, has run half marathons. I talk about running a lot on this show. And unfortunately, for the last 9 months or so, she hadn't been able to run. She's been diagnosed with plantar fasciitis. She thought he had a stress fracture. She was in a boot. She was doing this, is going through physical therapy. And finally, the last couple of weeks, her physical therapist has allowed her to start running again. And so, obviously that's really making her happy. So I got her a new pair of running shorts and a new sports bra. So I do a lot of the laundry in the house as well, and I noticed that she only has 3 or 4 sports bras. And I said, you know what? Practical gift, nothing over the top or special, but, things that she needs. So got her a nice card. The boys signed it. Nolan signed it for Harrison because Harrison can't sign his name yet because he's only 2.5. Almost 3, actually. It's almost 3. Actually, 2 months from now, he'll be 3. It's crazy. So he's over 2.5. But regardless, he still can't write his name. So what I wanted to make sure of is that today was a day that Lindsay saw that family was important. My appreciation for her, as well as the family's appreciation for her. And it's not about, her getting the day off or not doing anything, right? I mean, that's up to her how much she wants to put into the day, or if she just wants to kind of sit and relax and be with the kids, or have the kids be with me, or kind of just whatever it is, right? But she was fully participating. She came out, made sure, the brick pavers were how she wanted them, or that's not the right way of saying it, how we wanted them, and the look and everything, and make sure that, the work that I was putting in was, because, having another set of eyes on it, though sometimes can be frustrating, is also good, because I'm seeing it one way and she might see it another way. But she came out, gave her input on it, and, worked as a team around that, as well as, what I was doing the rest of this stuff, hanging the flag and whatnot. She was making sure that the boys were entertained and outside, because the weather held off. It was supposed to rain here all day yesterday, and it didn't, and that worked out great. But it was really nice, because then also my mom was with her and able to spend time with my parents and my mom to show our appreciation for her and what my parents do for our kids. And then we were able to FaceTime with Lindsay's parents, who are actually coming up this weekend as well, to watch the kids and help with the kids, which is always great and a luxury for us. And, so she was able to talk to her mom as well. And it was really a good family day with the emphasis on moms, and for the boys to see the appreciation for mommy, for Mimi, and which is what they call my mom and Lindsay's mom, Mimi in Mimi, Florida, is important, and important for us to raise our kids for them to see the importance of not only parents, but this day, mom. And then for me as a husband, to show my appreciation for their mom, my wife, and everything that she does, make that day what she wanted it to be. And it was, I hope, exactly that, and what she wanted. And though it sounds crazy, be like, well, it sounds like chores you did, and this and this and this. It was things that just needed to be done, that we wanted to have done. It wasn't just her. It wasn't just Lindsay saying, I want this done, and you have no say in it. It's a collective team effort that we have in this household. And at the same time as well, for my mom to spend time with my mother, to let her know how much we appreciate her and everything that she does, and just to share that family time is important. And the appreciation towards our moms and moms as well. And it was a fun day. I'm exhausted, but it was worth it. And this weekend was worth it. And I'm really looking forward to this upcoming weekend, which I talked about earlier. But this weekend was definitely worth it, and we were able to get everything done. And so, for any moms out there, I want you to know that I appreciate everything that you do for your kids, and I hope they do as well. And I hope your family appreciates everything that you do, whether it's your kids, your husband, your boyfriend, your fiance, your dad, your mom, your uncles, whoever, that are appreciative of you as a mother. And you guys work hard, and I appreciate that. And yeah, very important day. It's a great day to show our appreciation for those in our lives that are mean a lot to us. So to my mom, who doesn't know how to listen to the show, I've showed her, but technologically disabled are my parents. So, but if my mom ever does get to listen to this, Mom, I love you and I appreciate everything you do. And I'll probably try and teach her how to listen to this one because I think it's important for her to hear this. And for my wife, I love you and I appreciate you and I hope you listen to this. And to my mother-in-law, I love you and I appreciate everything you do for our family, our boys, my wife, your husband, your son, everybody around you. All the moms that I know are very selfless, and if you don't, you should appreciate that. My friends' wives that are mothers, you're doing a great job. And again, thank you to all the moms out there. It was a good day, a very important day, and it's a special day, and it should be a special day every single year. So thank you. And that's the life part of it, man. That's what I was talking about earlier. This show is going to be more focused around life and kind of everything that's going on. And if you can, you hear it, it's busy. Life is busy. And sometimes this is why I enjoy doing this. It's kind of a way for me to kind of just step back and reflect on what's gone on in the week or the last time that I talked or whatever it might be, of kind of the things that are important that happen. And this weekend and week and everything, and this week coming up, there's a lot of things that are happening and they're busy, and it's just good to kind of slow down and appreciate what you have around you. And I'm very thankful for everything that I have. I'm thankful for this show that I'm able to do and the motivation that I have around it, as well as anybody listening. I appreciate everybody's support and the fact that people are encouraging and they enjoy listening to this. And I get, flack when I don't get it out on Sunday because the schedule has been that for ever since I started. And then I did a couple of the weekly updates on Fridays, but then I got back into the Sunday, and I'm sorry, this one I'm going to get busy and I'm going to forget about it, and I'm probably not going to be able to get it out till Monday night, but it'll get out there and you guys will be able to listen to it. And I thank you for listening and spreading the word and talking about to me and to others about what you like about this show. But I do appreciate the fact that I'm able to do this and sit back and talk about what things are going on in my life and to use it as a sounding board. And yeah, that's really all I have. The dog's now moved over on the couch and he's still sleeping. And I think that's how we're going to end it. So everyone, thank you. Moms, thank you. And I hope you guys all have a great week. I will say I'm probably not going to get a podcast out this coming weekend because I am going to be on the golf trip. I thought about bringing the stuff. It's just going to be too much of a hassle. I don't really want to think about it. I want this to be my vacation and kind of decompress and have fun with my friends and my buddies and not have to worry about recording a podcast. So if I get back in time on Sunday and I'm feeling froggy, I'll see if I can get it out. If not, I will be back the following weekend, which will be the Memorial Day weekend. so we can talk about that and some things that have happened over the last couple weeks in sports and my life and everything else. So stay tuned. Thank you, everybody.